Hello, this is the first part of using sensors and peripherals with the Arduino microcontroller. The first sample program is about using the water level sensor. It is a little bit quirky. It's not really reliable because, first of all, corrosion can provide with faulty results. It itself is not as reliable. Maybe there are other water level sensors which are more expensive that would be more reliable, but definitely not the one in the kit because it's only costs a few cents anyway. The principle is behind, sending a current to a resistive device, which the water sensor is, and based on the water level, they figure out what the voltage is, and then the voltage would be related to the level of water or how much water has contaminated the sensor. So as far as the program is concerned, as you see that here we use the analog pin from the Arduino because it's a voltage or a current that gets to be read, in this case a voltage. And then we have also the sensor value, which is of course that voltage is turned into a number which we will read related to the amount of water that covers the sensor. I used pin 2, 3, and 4 as LEDs. Yellow LED, green LED, red LED. And in this case, I was just trying to figure out something that could say yellow LED would be like the threshold of drought, green LED, which means it's fine, the level of water is fine, and the red LED, that means flooding is imminent. And of course, at that time also I'm using a buzzer, and when the red LED is high or on, then the buzzer will sound off as if it were an alarm. And of course, we're using the serial monitor to look into the numbers that will be provided by the Arduino. So again, we read the voltage from the sensor, and then we turn it into a number, and in this case I delay that process by 0.1 second before we make any decision on. In this case, it depends again. When I use the sensor, sometimes it gives me different numbers for different thresholds, for different levels of water. So, or maybe it has to be used often enough, and then maybe it will stabilize. But again, it's up to you to figure out what numbers to use. And in this case, for example, if the sensor value is between 100 and 560, I would say it's yellow, which means that's a drought level. And if it's between 561 and 600, we'll say it's a normal level, acceptable. But you will see here also that I turn off the LEDs, and the reason is that sometimes when they turn on, every one of them will turn on, right? So when it gets into a different range, the other ones will still be turned on. So I decided that I'm going to turn them off after 1 second. And then if the range stays the same, then they will remain on. So it will look like it's flickering, but it will remain on. Otherwise, they check for the next level, then the level after that. And hopefully by now, as you see here, when the red LED is high or on, then the buzzer will sound off. Otherwise, they will all be low or off, right? And the buzzer will be silent. So if you see from the camera here, I have the yellow, green, and red LED. And in this case, I also have the buzzer. The buzzer has only one input. The other terminal is connected to ground. And so in this case, or in this case, yes. And so even though it has 3 pins, but it's only one for connection. And I have the sensor here. And of course, as you see that it has a VCC in the middle, a ground to the right in this case, and the left one is for the signal, right? That's where the voltage gets to be read by Arduino, and then the process takes place based on this program. So as you see here, if I dump this sensor into water, at some point now it reads, you see here, it's like responding in a way that is not appropriate. And so again, and here, if I dry it a little bit, then if I put it in, so I'm gonna dry it with a piece of paper, and hopefully it should work properly now. See here, it's probably wet still, so yellow, 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 yellow. As I go in, it becomes a green, a little bit at the edge, so I go a little bit deeper, so now it remains green. And if I go further down into the water, then you see here, and you see based on the values that when it exceeds 600, that's when the red LED gets to be on, and the buzzer will sound off. So if I remain at lower level, at high, meaning deeper in the water, or numbers greater than 600, then the red LED and the buzzer will sound off. And if I want to stop it immediately, then I just dry it, and then you see that the numbers will go back to 0. So that's about it. It's not exactly very accurate, but at least it gives us an idea of how the sensor works and how it can be controlled by the microcontroller.